Hey, it's Marty here with more business geekery and ideas that you can plug into your home service business. This is one that I think about a lot. Um, I'll start with saying your business might be one of these. Might be a leaky bucket. You might be suffering from leaky bucket syndrome. So, what is that? Well, a lot of people online and all the chatter you see on groups and so forth are all a lot of the time asking about how to get more leads. And there's tons of marketing agencies out there who want to generate more leads for you. And they talk about metrics about how many leads they generated and what the cost per lead was and all that sort of good stuff. It's all valid metrics, but if you've got leaky bucket syndrome, that's all a complete waste of time. So, what is leaky bucket syndrome? Well, A, it's something I just made up 5 minutes ago. And B, it's the syndrome where if you imagine your business as a bucket and profits are when you fill the bucket and they spill over, that's your profit, right? But if you can't keep it full, the only way that you can feed it is more leads. So you need to plug the holes in your bucket in your business to get more out of the leads you've got. Now, there's a whole bunch of metrics you can look at in business, and these are not all of them, but these are probably the main three to solve that leaky bucket syndrome. So let's get serious. Let's go to a Google sheet. So look, I'm not a great numbers guy, but I love geeking out with spreadsheets. But I do make mistakes, so don't get upset if there's a mistake. So on one side, we've got we call it business A and business B. All right, so we've got these two guys. In fact, give me one moment. All right, we're back. So instead of business A and B, we've got this guy here that I like to call your competition. He's called Nice Guy Pressure Washer. He's a nice guy. He likes drinking West End Draft. He's got a mullet. He's got a machine with his services written on the side. And then here we've got Marty, the Fresh Front franchise partner. Always got to plug it. If you are selling franchises, if anyone wants to buy one, you can contact me. But we've got this guy here, Marty, organized Marty, fresh front Marty, and nice guy pressure washer. Now they're both getting the same amount of leads per month. Let's say they do some good stuff. They do their boots on the ground marketing. They're not really doing any paid ads. They're just doing organic stuff. And between each business, they get, say, 20 leads per month. Like the numbers aren't really going to work, but it gives you the idea. Now, the first metric that we look at is booking rate. Okay, so that varies according to industry, but that's when you get an inbound inquiry, whether it's an email, an SMS, a web form, a Facebook message, a phone call. That's an inquiry. It's not quite a lead at this point, I guess, because you haven't picked it up. So not every lead is booked. Sometimes they're not the right fit. Sometimes the time doesn't work. It's a timing thing. Sometimes some people don't fucking answer their phone. In the busy season, a lot of solo operators just don't have time to answer their phone. So a lot of leads slip through, opportunities slip through. They don't have a way to filter out the good from the bad. And not only do customers get upset, they're missing out on opportunities and money in the bank. So let's say that nice guy pressure washer on the left here has a 50% booking rate. Out of his 20 lead opportunities for the month, half of them are going to turn into opportunities for quotes. And then Marty Fresh on this side, he's hitting 75% because he has support to catch those calls. He's got shared services in his franchise system that allow him to catch the calls. There's someone there to get the calls in the support office, there's virtual assistants, or there's automations to respond to the leads. Now, I'm not saying, hey, buy a bloody franchise, your numbers will be better. I'm just using that as an example. You might have a very diligent operator who answers their phone. If you're solo and that phone's ringing and it's peak season, you got to jump off the ladder and take the call. Or there's some cool things in some of the job management software like ServiceMate where you can do an automatic text back, or hey, sorry I missed your call, you can book a quote here, at least capture their details and move them like another step down in the process. You could also engage a answering service. So it's a monthly fee, it's a cost, but you'll soon find out that that cost is going to pay for itself. If you've got enough revenue in your business, you might actually hire an office manager. So we call that role a service coordinator. So that person takes inbound calls, qualifies leads, books in quotes, takes deposits, just gets that all initial communication out of the way. So sometimes hiring those non-revenue producing roles can actually make you more money. So it seems like a little bit of a hard pill to swallow at the start, but it pays for itself very quickly, particularly when you're up against a nice guy pressure washer who doesn't even answer his bloody phone, and he's too angry because his friggin' machine blew a hose and it's the worst day ever and he can't be bothered speaking with people. And that's the reality of being solo in a service business. You're the chief cook and bottle washer of everything in your business. You got very little support, so you got to create some strategies to improve that. Another way you can improve booking rate is you might be getting the wrong customers contacting you. If you're getting a lot of price sensitive people and you're not a low price service, then they're going to waste your time, especially if you do somehow go out and quote them and so forth. So maybe your marketing message isn't right. Maybe how you're getting leads isn't right. A big thing I see is a lot of Facebook sort of content and paid advertising is price-based. It's particularly exterior cleaning. I don't know why, but a lot of people are running ads like 50% off today, save now, specials now. And honestly, it's an intangible service. Most people don't know what they're getting. So 50% off of fuck knows is not enticing for me. If I'm going to go buy something with a known value and there's a percentage off, that might make sense. So a lot of the time, you can attract the wrong customers with marketing at the top of your funnel, so to speak, which actually cause you problems down the track. That's pretty hard to work out, especially when you're solo and you don't have the metrics. Obviously, at a sort of higher level or going into the weeds a bit more, you could track all your marketing sources and what the cost per lead was and what the actual average ticket per lead type was, and work out your highest performing marketing channels. But that's a video for another day, and you need to have the software and everything in place to track that. But that's the way to do that. But you can simply just change your marketing message. You got to think about where your highest value customers are. A good exercise to do is look at work that you've done that has been profitable and worked well for you, and work out where those customers came from, where they hang out, where the lead came from. Was it a BNI group? Do you go to a local BNI group and get leads that way? You might find they're higher value, so maybe I should do more of that. Do you do targeted flyer dropping? Maybe you should do more of that. Have you got referral partners? Maybe more of that. So that's definitely something to look at. And sometimes just pouring more leads in at the top, especially if this number's not right, it's not going to work. But it's very easy to actually generate leads for your business online, particularly for service-based businesses. But a lot of the time, they might not be ready to buy, or might not be the right kind of customer, or they might not know your business or brand. So that's how you can fix the booking rate. A few options there. But if we look here, nice guy pressure washer, he's booking half of his opportunities, and Marty Fresh is doing a little better, and he's he's getting the opportunity to quote 15 jobs from the same amount of inbound lead opportunities. So already a pretty big difference. Next metric we're going to look at is conversion rate. So that's like a sales conversion rate. How many jobs are you quoting? How many are you getting? So that's where you're actually providing a quote, a written quote, or if you just do verbals or back of the business card stuff, I'm sure this guy is, then that's what is referred to as your conversion rate. So you look at how many jobs you've quoted and then how many got accepted and work out the percentage of that. This one is an interesting one. Now, you can always increase the conversion rate. Sometimes you might be sacrificing price. So having a super high conversion rate or a super low conversion rate doesn't matter so much. It's just something to be conscious of. But definitely improving your conversion rate, if you are light on work, is a way to get more dollars in the bank. How can you improve conversion rate? It's a sales game. Deals are made at the kitchen table. It's a sales and marketing business. An exterior cleaning business at its heart is a lead generation based business. You need to be able to generate leads and convert them. Granted, you can build relationships and get some commercial accounts and repeated work that way. For the most part, if you're really good at generating leads and converting them into jobs, you're going to do well in that kind of business. So how can you improve conversion rate? Build a sales process. Have a structured process to approach every sale. Start with something and then tweak it over time. Listen to what the customer wants, understand their pain points, and provide a solution to them. Present a quote professionally. Get to quotes quickly as well. Speed to lead and speed to quotes are important. If you're saying, yeah, we'll come and give you a quote in 3 weeks, people are going to find someone else. So moving fast on that is a benefit. Maybe you have a pricing system where you can price jobs on the spot. Maybe you have some materials you can give them to help sell the job. Are you actually going to quote the job, or are you just drawing polygons around people's stuff on Google Maps and sending them a quote? Because you might be commoditized against the next guy who's doing that. There's many, many ways you can improve your conversion rate. But if we look at this example, nice guy pressure washer, he's only won 3 jobs. Out of the 20 lead opportunities, he's only won 3 jobs. He's not doing so well. Marty Fresh, he's got 9. He's doing a bit better. Now, we look at average ticket. So average ticket is the average value of jobs. So if you take all the jobs you did, add them up, divide them by the amount of jobs, that's your average ticket. That's a really important metric to track because it's going to determine how well your pricing and package offering is. So the higher you get that, the better. How do you do that? Sell better, provide more value up front, look at multi-tiered pricing options, package things together, maybe have a couple of services, you can bundle them. There's a whole different ways to raise your average ticket. It is largely sales dependent. A really good salesperson will be able to sell things at a higher level and present more value. It's not that you're ripping people off, it's that they are able to convey the value proposition much better. I think most of the time in small service-based businesses, people undersell themselves. They think like if they were their customer, oh, well, I would only expect to pay this much per hour, or this is a fair hourly rate, rather than, hey, we're going to transform your thing and make it into the best thing ever and give you the best service ever, and that's what that costs. So there's plenty of ways to get your average ticket up. The best way is to monitor it, because what is measured is improved. Same with all the other metrics. Keep a record, whether you've got a CRM that can do it, whether you've got an awesome high-end spreadsheet like me that's, 15 engineers that MIT created, obviously. But you just keep track of it. Once you keep track of it, then you can improve it. Use a bloody whiteboard if you want. But we look at their revenue after the same amount of leads. Marty Fresh, he's made 6,750, and nice guy pressure washer, he's $1,500, and that might get him a few cartons of red tins and so forth to keep him going, but he's really struggling. So Marty Fresh with the same amount of leads is 4.5 times more effective with the same leads. So maybe in your business you don't need more leads. You don't need the kid with a broccoli head haircut to, hey bro, I'm going to generate X amount of leads for you from all of these funnels that I've set up, and they're X amount, you know, $10 per lead or whatever it is. Chances are they might be rubbish, and they're just going to overwhelm you and take you away from what's actually important, which is getting these numbers right. It takes some time, but this is probably the highest value thing you can do in terms of lead generation and sales in your business, especially when you're small. You really want to look at these numbers. When you get bigger and maybe you have to put a salesperson out there to sell for you, these also become super important because you need to hold people accountable. So if you've got someone answering phones for you and your booking rate tanks, you want to know about that. If your conversion rate tanks, you want to know about that. If your average ticket is going down the shitter, you want to know about that. So what you know is what you can improve. Now, there is one caveat with this, and I'll talk about conversion rate. A lot of people in business will boast about their conversion rate. Now, if you're selling iPhones that are getting pumped out of a factory one after the other, or service contracts, or software as a service, or online courses, or coaching, things that are intangible that can be delivered infinitely, then you want to get your conversion rate as high as possible. But when you have a limited supply, your conversion rate is slightly different. Because think about it, if we're in a small service-based business, we only have so many hours in the day, so many production days that we want to work. And I highly recommend blocking out specific production days for your business and sticking to those and putting a value on those days. You may say, I'm only going to be in production 3 days this week, and each of those days are worth $2,000, a half day is worth $1,000, so on and so forth, and I'm going to sell to fill those days. So when you're working to that sort of rationale, the actual conversion rate isn't quite as important, because if you are full for weeks on end, you might actually not need as many leads and you might not need to convert as many jobs. So you might adjust your pricing to reflect that. When we say adjusting your pricing and talking about dynamic pricing, it doesn't mean you just triple your prices because you're busy, because that's not ethical. Customers will talk and you'll lose business. But you may decide to only offer certain types of packages or services which are high value at certain times of the year. So that's how you navigate through that. So before you go plugging in leads and getting someone to run ads and all these things that are going to overwhelm you, I would definitely have a look at least these 3 metrics. Whiteboard it, notepad it, spreadsheet it out, or pull it out of your CRM and just see where the numbers lie. You might be surprised, and like I said, what's measured is improved. And then once you dial all of this in, then you add fuel to the fire by generating more leads. And a lot of the time, to generate more leads, it just is all more of the same stuff that you've already been doing. But definitely sort these things out, and you might end up with more money in your pocket at the end of the day. Take it easy.